Hi, I just want to send out a really quick message about iniquity and righteousness. So, if you remember, when Lucifer was perfect in his ways and he was complete, entire, perfect, without blemish, without spots, he was perfect in what? In his ways, okay? Now, that word is a Hebrew word called derek, and it means a path, but it also means a mode of life. Now, what is a mode of life? A mode of life is a moral compass, something that's inside of us, right? A moral code, a code of ethics, or you could call it a law, a moral law. So when it says that Jesus, his scepter is the scepter of righteousness, his scepter is a moral law that is righteousness. And that word really needs to be studied as well. And I will do that. And then when Lucifer was perfect in his ways and his moral law, because his heart was full of God's righteousness at that point. But then he was perfect till iniquity was found in him. So when iniquity was found in him, he no longer had God's righteousness, moral law inside of him. So what does that mean? That means he has to have some kind of a law, some kind of a moral code, and now he has a different moral code, and he actually created a different moral code that was found in him. And that, again, shows up in the Garden of Eden as the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So we can now say that the tree of life is God's moral law, a mode of action, a code of ethics, and Satan's law is the moral law of good and evil. Now, everybody, doesn't matter who it is, has to have a moral code in their hearts. So, and there's only two available. There's only God's moral law of righteousness or the serpent's moral law of good and evil. And this is why we need to know what this means, because it affects each one of us individually. And for sure, we all either have God's moral law inside of us or Satan's moral law inside of us.